Day 2 here at University of California.
Shops, participatory activities, places to mix and mingle. But for the next hour, we are here together as one group in this single auditorium. So, it is my pleasure to begin today's program by introducing Will McGaskin.
So it is my absolute delight to introduce the conference on the past, present, and future of effective altruism.
Scientific revolution was the pursuit of the truth. Another way, perhaps to think about it, how does it interact with enlightenment? Well, the Enlightenment involved rethinking the best political systems to have, whereas effective altruism rethinks the best actions, both personal actions and also perhaps larger government actions, corporal punishment and respecting of animal welfare. And so we still don't even have all of these things today. But the types of things that he was deducing from these principles actually looks a lot like some of the effective altruist ideas, the big method had been developed. And this was the first time that they actually tried to find out how to improve health. And that happened. They found out in that case that actually you're better off giving them away for free. There's no more argument about that now. The conditions period where in the Oxford winter we kind of isolate ourselves for 14 weeks. The moment was when I was at in Seattle at a meeting where we were rethinking the disability adjusted life year, the DALI, and changing the definition and improving it. And I noticed that at a meeting of about 20 people, 1/4 of the people who were making this decision were given what mechanic was. It's both a grassroots movement, but it also has a lot of support from people who are really at the heart of cost effectiveness, aiming this wider movement. We weren't actually sure the name was really going to get used very much, but we had a long series of discussions and eventually settled on effective altruism, questioning of conventional wisdom. Two major parts of this, lots of questions which are central to effective altruism. Started in 2006, but instead there's something really important about going out and doing a lot of good in the world and using reason and evidence to work out how to do that good, rather than just using your intuition. Aid through the British Empire prior to World War II. And NGOs didn't exist. He introduces and really advocates for the idea of existential risk as a really big concern for humanity, and also says that, and he thinks it's so important because human history may be only really just beginning. We talked a bit about the history of ideas, but there are many, potentially many more thousands of years to come, many more great things that humanity will achieve, and that's why I thought it was really important to keep it alive.
We just launched just before last year's Effective Altruism Global. 50 million deworming tablets have been distributed through SEI and Deworm the World. And that amounts to something like, obviously these are estimates, can't take cost effectiveness estimates literally and so on, but given our best guesses, that means at least 10,000 lives have been saved. Moved about $600,000. Animal charity evaluators, which is the give well for animal charities, moved over $800,000 for top charities. And that's from Joey and Kate is going to, if that trend were to continue, what would the world look like in 10 years' time, for example? Well, if so, if it continues for the next 10 years, giving what we can would have $100 billion in pledges. It would become the de facto biggest foundation in the world. GiveWell and the Open Philanthropy Project would be moving more than $10 billion a year to the most effective charities. And around the world, hundreds of thousands of people would self-identify as part of the effective altruism community. And, let's indulge further. What if we think 20 years out? What would the world look like then? Well, if it continued for the next 20 years, perhaps cause prioritization would become, rather than this very niche thing, it's only really us that really seriously thinking about that, a couple of small other organizations. Perhaps it would become a major field of research. You could imagine politicians, prime ministers, presidents, incorporating the ideas of effective altruism into the political platforms on which they stand. And ultimately, you could imagine the idea of effective altruism, the idea of using evidence and reason to try and promote the welfare of all, to become just as common sense as the scientific method is common sense today. Perhaps you've still got some people debating it, but it's kind of far from the mainstream. Catastrophic risks. If we were able to get this sort of mindset change at such a large scale, these problems start to look kind of trivial almost, and drive forward moral progress, and figure out the problems that we're not even aware of today. How can we help others by as much as possible? How can we do the most good? And in that sense, effective altruism, it's not ideology, it's not set of prescriptions, it's not a body of facts, it's not a set of recommended charities, it's not even a list of preferred causes. It's a methodology, it's a pursuit of a question. And that means we need to be kind of constantly trying to revitalize ourselves, address this question, keep thinking about what the best ways of doing good are, what ways we might be wrong.
I much prefer this kind of summary to watching the actual presentations. What do you think? I like it, like all the phrases that were like interesting and all of the cool slides out of an hour and a half of presentations were just in the last 5 minutes. I'm gonna like looking back at that. I hope you liked watching it. See you in the next video.